One of my members sent a simple 79-word email to an AI company CEO, and something really interesting happened. Instead of him pitching the CEO pitched him. 3 weeks later, he closed a deal worth 140K per year. Today, I'm showing you exactly how he did it, including how to fulfill for these enterprise-type clients who don't even flinch when you pitch 12K per month. And the reason I'm doing this is because of two reasons. One, because I offer something called First Client Award, where I personally help members with their first clients. And two, that way you guys can also literally just steal the playbook and get up and running yourselves. So let's print some money. $1,000 setup plus 7% deal closed. The average deal size is 500K. Celebrating the first one with this enterprise-sized clients. Signed, and the payment just hit the bank account, so now the rent. I'm not gonna lie, that was funny. Signed, and the payment just hit the bank, so now the rent. Sent a connector email and caught the attention of the CEO of an AI company with huge contract deals, enterprise only. For example, X is one of their clients. I had to blur the name just because it's client sensitive. Got on a call with X, the CEO, who was already impressed with the email I sent. So he ended up pitching me instead of me pitching him. Here's the advantage. They've never done any outbound or ran any ads. They have grown to $5 million a year with pure word of mouth and Chamber of Commerce old school networking. That's insane. At 7% of deal close, I only need 4 deals a year to make about 140K on this client. The only thing that sucks is the deal cycle. Took 3 video calls with the entire exec team to get this done. Yeah, obviously, because it's like an enterprise. Like they have to talk to their team, all this stuff that enterprise has to go through. The learning could have charged way more, but went for percentage when I heard the average deal size and that they never did outbound. Yeah, that's a smart move. Like when you work with these enterprise clients, the best way is just to go for like a commission deal because, I mean, think about it. Like the average deal size like 500K, which is insane. I took this to heart and did not hesitate to charge from 5K a month up to 12K a month on my next sales calls for these enterprise SaaS. I did it on a call with a firm yesterday, said the price, the guys didn't even budge. The power of an enterprise client. Yeah, because they make a shit ton of money. So 12K is nothing for them. They understand the value of B2B sales. I'm only getting started. We're all going to win, guys, with this system. Realize 2 things. 1, this works, obviously. 2, positioning is everything. Your imagination and fears are the only limit. Wow, that's wisdom. That's true. Yeah. Your imagination and fears are the only limit. There are people out there who think 5K per month would look like an internal joke inside. Peanuts. So I'm going after those with full confidence I can deliver. Wow. Congratulations, my friend. That's wisdom right there. So what I'm going to do right now, guys, is I'm going to walk you through like what this client actually does in very, very simple terms. And I'm also going to show you guys a couple things you can do, a couple things you can implement today to also land these types of enterprise deals. And I'm also going to show you how he can fulfill for this client, because let's say you manage to get a client, let's say you're watching this and you manage to get an enterprise client based off these things or these golden nuggets that we're going to share in this video. And you might be wondering inside, well, what do I do to fulfill? We're also going to tackle this. Okay, so rest assured. Now, let's break down this 140K a year enterprise win. And here's exactly how he did it. Well, the first thing is when he hopped on a call, well, he knew that they never knew what sales systems are, obviously, because they grew to 5 million a year purely through word of mouth referrals and old school networking, which is exactly what I always say. Like all of these huge companies, they only grow based off referrals and like just word of mouth. Like they don't have like a systematic way to reach out to their ideal customers. And then they also have huge deal sizes. At 7% commission, he only needs 4 deals a year to make 140K a year, because each deal is around 500K, so 7% commission. And the third thing is that they didn't flinch at pricing, because when he later raised the rates and the pricing from 5K to 12K, the enterprise clients didn't even flinch because they understand. So what he's done is he used something called the connector angle. And the reason why it worked is because they were already successful, like I said, 5 million a year, but they hit a wall. Obviously, you're going to hit a wall if you only rely on referrals or word of mouth. You don't have a systematic way to reach out to your customers or ideal clients. So they only use networking. And they probably didn't trust the typical AI lead gen agencies, okay? But they respected someone who could make warm introductions, which is the most valuable thing about the connector angle because it feels like a peer, like a middleman, like an insider. And as an AI company selling to enterprise, well, they understand the value of B2B sales cycles. Okay. Now, the lessons for future deals is always charge more than you think, especially for enterprise, because companies with plus 500K deals don't give a damn about paying 12K if you can actually deliver. They only care if you can actually deliver. And then the second thing is you want to be patient with enterprise sales cycles because it took him 3 video calls or 3 Google Meets, Zoom, whatever with the exec team, but the payoff was totally worth it. I mean, 140K a year, like anybody would say yes to this, right? And since it's enterprise, well, you always want to go for commission-based deals because they have a huge deal size, obviously. And this is exactly the blueprint on how to land 6-figure deals for your sales agency. So now, the only thing you have to do is just go find companies with successful product, but no outbound sales systems. Successful product just means product market fit, means they actually solve like a good problem, right? And they have a customer base. Think about it, like they're already making $5 million a year. So he's going to help them scale. And they have huge deal sizes, okay? And they have existing proof their solution works, which means they have some social proof. They're not just like a startup, okay? They have case studies and they have clients. They already worked with clients in multiple industries, okay? So that's basically the breakdown. Now let's talk about the onboarding, okay? And to give you guys some context, when you close a deal, okay, let's say with a client, you typically have to go through the onboarding or the kickoff, where essentially just like a 15 to 20 minute call where you gather the information about their ideal customer, how you're gonna build them the sales system, all this stuff. So that's like the typical roadmap, okay? But now let me explain to you what his client actually does in very simple terms, okay? Now, I want you to imagine that you've got a company that sells stuff to other businesses. Your salespeople use the CRM called Salesforce. Salesforce is basically like a program, kind of like ClickUp, like a project management tool. And it keeps track of all your customers. Now, the problem with this software is called Salesforce. It has tons of information about your customers, but it's a huge pain in the ass to find what you need. Excuse my French. So your salespeople waste hours clicking around trying to remember what did this customer buy last time? What problems did they have? What did we promise them? When should we follow up with them? So this client came up with an AI assistant that sits on top of Salesforce and makes it super easy to use. So it's basically an AI that reads all your customer data, gives your salespeople the exact information they need right when they're talking to customers, tells them exactly what to say to close more deals, and automates all the boring stuff that everybody dislikes and everybody hates, okay? And stuff that salespeople hate doing. Now, who they want as customers, basically his clients, well, they want B2B SaaS companies, which is software companies that sell to other businesses, companies using Salesforce as their CRM, and companies that are from 50 to 500 employees. So these are all the criteria that fall within their ideal customer. Now, the company size they want to talk to is going to be small enough to be nimble, not huge corporations with 10 layers of approval, big enough to afford, so at least $5 to $10 million in revenue, and ideally growing companies, usually raise some funding, but not massive public companies, okay? The exact people they want to talk to are VP of sales, CROs, because the pain points that this persona has is that they're constantly saying, my salespeople waste too much on admin stuff instead of actually selling. So the biggest bottleneck is always going to be selling. And then they care about closing more deals and faster sales cycles. The VP of RevOps, which is revenue operations, the pain point that they are experiencing is no one uses our CRM properly, so our data is garbage. So they care about better forecasting and better clean data. And then the customer success leaders, their pain points is we're losing customers because we forget to follow up on issues. Okay, so they care about reducing churn, increasing renewals with their clients. And founders, obviously, because we spend a fortune on Salesforce, but we don't get enough value. So they care about the ROI on the investment, the tech investment, because they're spending money and actually growing revenue. But the key is we want companies who are frustrated with how hard Salesforce is to use, but still need it for their business. So companies where salespeople hate entering data, but managers need that data to make decisions. Okay. And I'm going to show you guys how to find them. Okay. So we're going to use a couple methods that I personally use inside of my 165K a month agency. And the first step is reframing their service around money, which falls around the 3-step revenue translation process. Okay. Which is like a process that I came up with. So what I found in their websites is that they talk about AI assistance and knowledge of product catalog and all this technical jargon nobody cares about. And what I did is I changed this boring tech talk into actual money language. So instead of saying our AI helps with CRM data, I made it about their average deal size jumped 32%. So what they say in their website is AI assistants that equip reps with knowledge of product catalog, orders and CRM data. Nobody talks like this, right? So the revenue reframe is instantly increase sales productivity and close more deals by giving reps real-time access to customer data they normally just miss. So this is the step 1, reframing their service around money, because as I always say, like companies don't care about the actual AI assistant. They care about whether it's going to make them more money or make them lose less money. Okay? Step 2 is finding their best case study and reverse engineer. And the reason why is because it is way easier to find more of what already works than try random stuff, okay? So if their best customer was a SaaS that had the exact same issue, then find more of those exact companies. That's it, okay? And the third step is basically put a hard number on it. So based on their website, there was a testimonial, and the testimonial is, our AI program has delivered a multi-million-dollar sales uplift. Now, what's an actual number? So what I did is I grabbed their vague multi-million-dollar sales uplift testimonial from their best case study, and I made it specific. 2.7 million revenue boost and 32% bigger deals, and saved 11 plus hours weekly. So now these specific numbers feel real, because multi-million-dollar could mean anything. So 2.7 million feels like a real result someone actually got. So now it's like X helped a B2B SaaS company achieve 2.7 in additional revenue by giving reps instant access to customer history during calls without extra CRM clicks. Okay. Now, step 4, should make this purple for aesthetics, because I choose the purple here. Yeah, okay. So now we're going to have to find companies like their best customers, i.e. from the best case study, okay? Similar to the customer in their case study, okay? So the target ICP is going to be B2B SaaS companies using Salesforce CRM, 50 to 500 employees, 5 to 100 million in revenue with an established sales team, 10 plus reps. The decision makers, just like I said, VP of sales, VP of RevOps, customer success leaders, and we're going to use a connector copy. So the copy is going to be subject line, B2B SaaS company, all the way to 2.47 revenue boost. Now, this is really good. This is a really good subject line because there's like money here and acts like a pattern disrupt. And since we're reaching out to SaaS companies, well, this guy or this girl or whatever, this woman or this man, which is the VPs of sales CRO, is gonna see the email. You're like, B2B SaaS? Okay, I work in a B2B SaaS. 2.7 revenue? Let me click. Boom. And now they're going to read the email. So, hey, first name, we have a personalization. Okay, so personalization, we're going to use something really cool. It's going to blow you guys' mind, because personalization is not going to be like notice your hair transplants or like notice your dog or whatever that every guru tries to teach online. But we're going to use something very interesting. So we're going to have, hey, first name, the personalized line, which is going to be congrats on the recent, for example, this is just an example. Congrats on the Series B funding. Notice your sales team doubled while your Salesforce admin headcount stayed flat. Impressive operational efficiency. Just connected the SaaS CEO with a Salesforce AI tool that turned their CRM data into actual revenue. Their average deal size jumped 32% when reps gained instant access to customer history during calls without extra CRM clicks. Notice company name uses Salesforce. Would you be open to a similar connection? Now, this is the email that he's gonna send because he is the connector. Our member is the connector, right? And he's gonna connect his client with their ideal clients, which is, like I said, the target ICP, B2B SaaS companies, okay? So let's just go ahead and dissect this entire copy, because I know you guys like when I actually give explanation of why I wrote this copy, like the how and the why, because it's kind of like that analogy of don't just give me the fish, but teach me exactly how to fish. And this is the reason why I'm explaining this, so you guys can also write better, okay? So you don't have to rely on anything else. So in the subject line, we're being super specific. 2.7 million plus exactly who got it, which is B2B SaaS company. Duh, right? The first line is I'm positioning as a connector who helps someone, not as a salesperson, which is the entire core of the connector angle. You're not selling, you're just connecting. Okay. Second line, I'm giving them the exact result, 32% bigger deals and why happened. So instant customer histories access. And then I have a soft ask, which is the CTA call to action. Just would you be open? Not asking for a call or a demo. And again, it's super short, under 80 words, all about money results, not features. Okay. Because they don't care about the features, and positions as a helpful connection, not a sales pitch, super specific exact numbers, and targeted at company just like their best customer, right? Now, the personalization is pretty interesting. This is like the prompt engineering, okay, how I came up with the prompt. So let me read through the prompt and explain it too. So we're going to say, create a casual insider style congratulatory message for companies that feels, so companies is basically like a variable. We're going to plug the name of the company that feels personal and credible. The tone should be like a fellow founder / operator making a warm connection. Formula is congrats on specific achievement. Relate these insights to the service being offered. An AI assistant for CRM data that helps sales team close larger deals by giving reps instant access. This is the real juice of this prompt because it relates. Keep it short, genuine. The message should feel like a casual LinkedIn message between peers, not a formal business outreach. Generate 3 variations based on the provided website data. So we can generate 1 variation. We don't need 3. Now, this is a good damn prompt because everyone says personalize your outreach, okay? If you go to your feed, everyone is going to be like, deep research, okay? Personalize your cold outreach, bro. But most people just do it wrong. They either dump irrelevant info, for example, saw you like dogs on LinkedIn, right? Or over explain and kill the vibe. Now, this prompts that I wrote nailed it. So congrats on the specific achievement. It's site real and based on actual move the company actually made. So there's no fluff. And it feels like it's coming from a real operator. So we're training AI. We're saying, hey, fellow operator, which is the tone. So we're not showing up as another SDR because SDRs within companies, they just push software. You're showing up like someone who gets it because you've built stuff too. So that instantly lowers the defenses. And the third thing is hard ties to the offer without the cringe. So you're not pitching yet, just connecting the dots between their momentum, example, hiring, raising, scaling, and the kind of problem your tool or your service solves. And by the way, you can use this even when you want to get yourself clients. For example, you want to change this. Relate these insights to the service being offered, building themselves systems that connect them with their ideal clients. Boom. And there we go. You found it. The fourth thing, which is it gives structure without killing creativity. So it's flexible. You get the vibe, which is casual, the format, congrats line, plus soft insights, and then the why. It ties it to the AI CRM problem, which is the service that his clients actually offers. But you still have space to write like a human. Okay. So as I always say, make outreach fun again. Okay. There's no bullshit value prop paragraphs or bullet lists. Okay. Just real talk, humans that actually touch grass, tight copy, and relevance. So it's perfect for LinkedIn or cold email because it doesn't just scream, I'm trying to sell you. Okay. So that was pretty long. I just walked you guys through the entire thought process because it's really, really important. It's not just about building the sales system, but you want to understand why you are selling it because it's like the real juice of doing this entire thing. Okay. So now that you understand this, let's just go ahead and build this in like a system that's going to allow us to do this at scale using make.com. We're either going to pick either NA10 or like make.com. I'm tool agnostic. You guys know me. So I'm just going to go for like the easiest way to actually deliver the results. Okay. So step 1 is we need to find companies like their best customers. So we need a lead sourcing database. I'm just going to go and use Apollo because you want to be doing things that don't scale. Apollo is like the lowest hanging fruit. I'm just going to log in and now I'm going to start to build in my list. Okay. And by the way, this is just a free trial on Apollo. As you can see, 13 days left. You do not need to pay for Apollo because we're just going to scrape Apollo. Like I always say, there's no need, okay? And I'm going to show you guys how to scrape Apollo, obviously. But what I've done is when I signed up, basically I just signed up with like a Google account, and I went to admin settings. You can see in the plan overview that I'm in the professional plan, okay? It's just a professional plan, which is a free trial, okay? Highly recommend you guys never buy Apollo, okay? It's just not worth your money. So I'm just going to go to people. And then what I'm going to do is always make sure you are in the net new, okay? And the first thing we want to do is let me just remove all these filters, okay, from my past searches. I'm going to show you guys exactly how we're going to build this, okay? So step 1 is we want to go to email status. Always make sure it's verified, even though I don't trust this filter because we're going to have to verify the emails after this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to industry, and then we're going to pick, let's go here. We're going to pick a B2B SaaS company. So it's going to be software, computer software. And it's also going to be information technology industry. So information technology services. Okay. We want 50 to 500 employees. So we want to go to employees, click on it, and it's going to be 50 to 100, which is this one. Okay, 800K. That's a huge list. And then now we're going to go to revenue, and then we want to put 5 million. So from 5 million to 100 million. Okay, which is this one. And then using Salesforce, you want to go to technologies and simply just type in include technologies, which is Salesforce. I believe Apollo, the way they are able to actually pinpoint whether the company uses a certain technology is they use like an external API from probably their stack. If you guys don't know, there's this platform is called their stack. So it's kind of like a technology lookup. Okay, so this is how they do it. I would have to assume under the hood. Okay. All right, so location, it's going to be United States because they want to talk to business owners within the United States. So United States, simply just type United States. United States. There we go. All right, so that's pretty much it. We're going to go to job titles. We're going to type in VP Sales. VP Sales, because we have VP of Sales. CRO. RevOps. And then let me go back here and let's see. So it's in the client onboarding. Okay, VP of RevOps. And by the way Apollo pulls job titles is they use something called keyboard matching system, which means like a VP of RevOps is not the same as RevOps, or VP RevOps is not the same as VP of RevOps, because people on LinkedIn like they have different job titles depending on what they like, you know. So VP of RevOps, CRO, and then what do we want again? Success or customer success leader. Okay, so customer success. There we go. 1.3K. Okay, that's pretty much good to go. Technology, revenue. Okay, sweet. So now what do? Well, we need to scrape this. We're going to use a platform called Epify. Epify is basically like a marketplace for scrapers. Simply just type in Apollo. Scrapers is basically tools that extract data for you at a fraction of the cost instead of paying for platforms. So I'm going to use this 150K because it's like extremely affordable, like $1 per 1,000 leads. Make sure you are in the starter plan in Epify. So I'm just going to copy this URL, simply just paste it here. In terms of like the job, like the total numbers of record, I'm just going to keep it 600. That's all I need. And then make sure it's 600 in the maximum charge results and click on save and start. So now the scraper is going to go ahead and scrape data for me. Because if we go to log, you will see scraping successfully started. Fetch in page 1, found 100 results. And then fetch in page 2, find 100 results. So the cool part is that they're going to give us the emails, company overview, tech stack, whatever, everything that we have here, which is pretty cool. So let me check if I'm still recording. I am recording. Awesome. Fun fact, I had to re-record the entire video because my mic was not working. So you guys are getting the optimized version of me talking about this. Okay, so 300, pretty much good to go. We have the emails. Awesome. Organization name is the company name. Okay, sweet. All right. As you can see here, we have the ink. So we need to clean this up using like AI. So instead of Vittery Inc, it's just Vittery. Okay, Alpine IQ, just Alpine. I believe it's just Alpine IQ. Yeah, okay. So now once this is like this finished scraping, we're just gonna go to make.com. In fact, let's just do it now. Okay, let's go to make.com. As this is scraping, I'm just gonna log in, sign in with Google using my account. Okay. So that was pretty much very quick, like 1 minute. Insane. If you had to like export this from Apollo, you're gonna pay like $50, which is okay. Done. So 600. Awesome. So now we're gonna create a new scenario. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on this. I'm going to search apps and modules. It's going to be Apify. So look for Apify and then go to Get Data Set Items. Okay, click on this Add button. Make sure to go now to Settings because you want to authenticate, which means connect your Make.com no-code tool to Apify. So you want to go to API Integrations, copy this API key, close this tab, go to connection type is going to be Apify, and then this is the API token, and click on Save. You can totally name this whatever you want. You can just keep it empty. And then now we're going to have to go to storage. So the storage is where the data set is. And the data set is basically the RAM of the scraper, okay? Where the data is. You see this format, always keep it JSON. And limit, just put 1 for limits because limit is just how many records, how many leads you want to retrieve. Click on Save and then run once. And there we go. Now we got access to it, okay? We have the email, the name, the title, the LinkedIn of that person, the website, whatever. Also get a couple things. So SEO description, we have the organization company, like the short description of them. Technologies, so they use all these technologies. There we go. So Salesforce, check this out, Salesforce. Yeah, they pretty much, like Apollo does use their stack 100%. So this is going to be get data of Apify. Okay, and now since we have the data, we need to verify it. Okay, we need to verify the emails because we can't be sure that the email is valid. And let me actually test this. Okay, this is a platform that I built specifically for people in my community, which is basically like email verification in email finding tool. Okay, so let me just try and find this. So let me go back to Make. Let me check if this email is actually valid. Copy, verify. Let's see. We're going to submit a request, and then we're going to see. Okay, email is valid. So the email is quite valid. Okay, so the email is valid. Okay, let's check another platform. For example, an email finder. You go to app. Let me just log in. And then let me just verify. Let's see. Okay, it's valid. Awesome. So in your case, you can use an email finder to verify the emails because this step is very crucial. Like I said, you need to check if the email is actually valid, right? So in my case, I can use my own platform, like I said, like just like a platform that I built for my community, which allows them to save over $400 in an email finder because like these in email finder, if you go to add credits, like 24K is $50 a month. This is just the verification. If I go to pricing, so an email finder pricing, it's like around $400. Yeah, if you want 60K, $100. And by the way, this is the monthly. We want the monthly. So $150 for 5,000 credit, which is insane. So I was like, okay, let me just lower the cost and build my own platform. So I hired a couple developers. They are great, love them to death. Like they build amazing software, and we build like this platform for them, which is the verification and also the email finding. Okay, the bulk, you can just bulk upload the list, whatever. But I'm not gonna use it since you guys don't have access to this. So I'm just gonna go to app and I'm gonna show you guys how to use an email finder. An email finder is good too. Okay, so you want to go to API because we're gonna connect it to make.com, and then you want to go to, I believe there's an email finder here. An email finder? Yeah, there is an email finder. Okay, sweet. So search for, search, I don't think it's search, it's verify. An email finder. Validate an email. Okay, sweet. So you want to click on create connection, go to an email finder, copy your API key, and simply just paste it here and save. Okay, now the email to validate is going to be the email. Make sure it's saved and run once. There we go, because it's already validated. True. Okay, this is going to be verify email. Okay, now what we're going to do is we need to clean up the company name. We're just going to use an AI model. I'm just going to use Gemini. Okay, create a completion. If you guys don't know, I actually shared a way to get a Gemini for free, like $500 in a video on YouTube. So make sure to check that out. Maybe I can leave in the description actually. And this is the exact connection that I, like when I showed how I would get Gemini, this is the exact connection. Yeah. So message is going to be user. It's very cheap. Okay. So we want a prompt that cleans the company name. So I'm going to go to 7-figure prompts, which is a document that I have that has everything. This is a document that I shared with people in my communities, constantly improved and constantly fine-tuned because these prompts always change. So normalize the company name, which is the organization name. So organization name by focusing on its most distinctive and memorable element, as it might be reflected in the company's domain. Okay, the company's domain is primary domain and the company's LinkedIn, not person's bio. Company's LinkedIn. Company's LinkedIn is what? Organization LinkedIn URL. Okay, the goal is to identify the standout parts. Okay, I'm gonna go to advanced settings, and then I'm gonna make sure that the maximum output token is 1000. Let's save. So Stitch. Okay, what was the company name? It was still Stitch. Okay, because it was already cleaned. So this is gonna be clean company name. Sweet. So now we have the clean company name, but before we actually proceed, we need to add a filter here. So the condition success, not actually. Validation equals to valid. So is email valid? Sweet. And then now we're going to have to generate the personalization. So I'm just going to use Claude. I'm going to go to model. I'm going to use 3.7 sonets, max tokens 3060, messages, add message, user, content. Content is going to be text. And let me make sure if you guys can see everything. No. Yeah. Got to be conscious of this. I put this here. Awesome. The prompt is going to be the exact prompt that I showed you. Control C, paste it here. And we need the company description. Yes. So the company description, SEO description, along with short description, and also annual revenue, and also total funding. Oh yeah, we need to add a couple lines here. Total funding. And let me just copy this, put this here. Okay, and then we're gonna add the companies here. For company. So for company is going to be the result of Gemini. And this is annual revenue. So, okay. And then I'm going to lower the temperature to 0.7. Okay. And then now we're going to give it an example. Example of perfect output. Okay. And then we're just going to give it an example. There we go. Now let's just run once. Congrats on hitting 5.5 ARR while building out such a comprehensive auth solution. Love how you made authentication both secure and seamless for developers. Your SDK approach reminds me of our journey. Build an infrastructure that just works while teams focus on their core products. The 126 million raise speaks volume about what you're building. Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Let's just see this works. Let's see. That's really good. But we need to trim it a little bit. We need to add additional lines here. Keep it short, 3 lines only. This is really comprehensive. Don't you guys think? Congrats on hitting 5.5 M ARR while building such elegant auth infrastructure. Love how your SDKs make security feel seamless for developers. Scaling to 126 in funding with a thoughtful product design is no small feat. This is really good. Okay, so 101 line. This is a thoughtful line. Amazing. Excellent. So now the next step is basically, what else do we need? Let me check the copy. Okay, sweet. So let me just close these tabs here. And then now we're going to plug everything to Instantly. So we're going to create a campaign instantly, because instantly is basically going to be our cold email software. So we're just going to log in. So the name of the campaign is going to be first client reward. This is going to be first client reward. First client reward AI assistant. Continue. Okay, we have this here now. So we're going to go to instantly, add lead, or create lead, I believe. Create lead. There we go. And I'm going to have to authenticate my account. I believe it's, let me just do it again. So go to instantly, go to integration, make sure it's API keys version 2. Yes. I'll just name this magic. And then create. Copy, paste it here, and then save. Okay, so the campaign ID is going to be the name of the campaign that we just created, which is this one. The email is going to be the email from email. The personalization is the personalization. Website, should we add the website? Yeah, let's add the website. Why not? Where is the website? The last name. Do we have? Yeah, we do. The last name, first name, company name is the result from Gemini. And then that's pretty much it. Let's just run. Okay. Let's go to campaigns. So we added the lead. Awesome. So, hey, first name, personalization. Oh yeah, I see AI add in this. So, rule, exclude in the result. In the result. So now we're not going to have that issue. There we go. And one more thing. Because we need to also remove this from the perfect output. Yes. This is the reason why I picked it up from the first place. Okay. So now let's just refresh. We need to I believe we need to delete and then re-add it again. Pretty sure. Hey, first name, personalization. Yeah, we just need to delete. And now we're not going to have that issue. Trust. Check this out now. There we go. So if I personalize, okay, there we go. And now I'm going to copy this. Paste this here. Subject line, we're going to use B2B SaaS company. B2B SaaS company. Awesome. I can also add sent from my iPhone, because it just solidifies my positioning. Now, when they see sent from my iPhone, they see the personalization. They're like, wow, this guy actually researched me and using their phone. So now let's just tackle a couple of things. So we need to add a few modules to handle rate limiting. So I'm going to click on this plus one. Is going to be a break module. And then I'm going to add it here. Allow. And another one. And also another one. And instantly. Okay. And then I'm going to go to settings, and then I'm going to make sure allow storing of incomplete executions, because let's say we get a rate limit with an email finder or instantly, it's going to stop and continue where it stopped. So it's going to be 30 seconds. Just interval and minutes, just 1. Yeah, we can do 1 minute. 1 minute is more than enough. There we go. Save. And then save one. Okay, let's run this at, for example, 20. And then let's just run once. And then let's see. First one, second. So we're adding all our leads. Check the second one. Congrats on becoming the leading Salesforce native solution for complex B2B management. Love how you're streaming customer onboarding while keeping everything within the Salesforce ecosystem. Smart move for reducing friction. Oh, wow. So they already mentioned this. Huh. That's exactly the ideal customer. Wow. Bring order to every project inside Salesforce. That's crazy. I really hit the nail on this one. What don't you guys think? Okay, sweet. Awesome. So right now, the only thing we have to do is just save, and we're just going to name this first client reward full system optimized. There we go. So that's how you would fulfill. There was like an entire end-to-end fulfillment process. So there we go, guys. That's how you would fulfill for a similar client. These are our enterprise clients. And keep in mind, like the deal size, like 500K, right? Which is absolutely insane. So there we go, guys. The only thing you have to do, just like I always say, is simply just get out there, take action. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.